This
Rick, I would
conference will
appreciate it.
now be recorded.
Okay.
Thank you.
And can I just say, we're terribly sorry that we didn't record. We had a hiccup with the last meeting 2 weeks ago. And
Call back in.
And then it turned out we
Yeah, I
couldn't
think it has
record
to
it.
in.
So,
Yeah.
so we're sorry that it wasn't available last time. Okay.
All right. Well,
That was my fault.
I think Kim is going to try and reconnect, but I suppose we should thank you all for joining us tonight. And Holly and Elizabeth, hopefully you can hear us. We don't see you, but we're just going to kind of go around and introduce ourselves, and we'll start with some of the new people who are joining us tonight. Jennifer, if you don't mind going first.
Yes. I am Jennifer.
Hi.
And what do I say? Like,
If you're comfortable just talking about like how long you've been living with the disease or just anything that you want to share.
I have been looking for a virtual group for so long.
Yay.
And I've been diagnosed since 2019. It's lonely disease. I'm a baby now, so.
That's okay. You're with your people. We get you.
There's nothing here in Richmond. So I've worked in addictions for 15 years. I'm also in recovery. Let's see. So I run a whole outpatient addictions here in Richmond, Indiana, which is getting more stressful and harder because I forget a lot.
Yeah.
I am now on some medicine because I've not taken any because of insurance, and I just can't afford $30,000 a month. So,
right.
So I have 3 kids, and they're all old and think they're grown up. 18, they're 23 and 21. So thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight. And I know that Tiffany, you're a new face.
Yeah.
So hi.
So hi, I'm Tiffany. I was just diagnosed last month. So this is my first, yeah. So I've been looking for support groups. I figured I'd start with the virtual. There's a couple in my area, but I'm still having trouble connecting with them. Started on medications a couple weeks ago. I'm a nurse. I work full-time in staff education and infection control at a nursing home. So my life's a little crazy right now.
And do you feel comfortable saying where you're at?
Yeah, I live in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here, and yeah, wow, that's a big step.
It's been a lot.
Yeah, it's been a lot, and I hope that the group, like, we can talk. And now I'm just going to, I know Kim is a moderator, so no offense, I'm going to skip over you. And then Holly, if you want to just,
yeah. So I'm Holly Brown, and I have been diagnosed since for 21 years, since I had my first symptoms in 1999, and then I was diagnosed in 2000. And Tiffany, I'm also from Massachusetts. Whereabouts in Mass are you from?
I'm in Attleboro.
Okay, I'm in Brockton.
Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty close.
Yep. So I take Rituxan, and I do pretty well. I don't work. I founded a charity about 8 years ago. So I just do that when I'm able to.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And hi, Anne. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I think this is the Massachusetts gang.
That's kind of where I was thinking.
In Massachusetts, I'm in Concord, a little north of you two. And I was diagnosed in 2016. And I could no longer work. That was part of the reason for the diagnosis. So I've not worked since now. I'm on Rituxan as well. And I'm pretty happy with my life. It's changed significantly from what it was in October of 2016. But I keep busy. I take 2 French classes on Zoom, and it doesn't matter if I show up or not. That's the cool thing. When you do things that you pay for, you show up when you can. And when you don't feel up to it, you don't show up. So I like that. And I take lots of naps with my little dog. That's like the story of my life. Naps with Bisbee, my dog.
Nice. Well, thank you for joining us again. And I see Elizabeth Thomas. You're on mute, but I was wondering if you want to just introduce yourself to the group. Okay. We can come back. We can come back to you, Elizabeth.
Let's just explain how to unmute, because that might be an issue. Kim, do you want to give some instructions on unmuting and cameras and what have you?
I might not be the best person with my yucky internet tonight. I'm getting the feedback through my phone, listening to you guys, because I can't listen to you through the computer because the internet's so bad.
So, all right, I'm happy to do it. So, Elizabeth, at the bottom, if you're on a PC, at the bottom of the screen, there will be a green icon with a camera and another up. There you go. Can we hear you? Speak up.
Yes.
Say something, Elizabeth.
I'm trying. Oh, there I am.
Okay.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear
Just
me?
about. Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about yourself.
I'm on a tablet.
Okay. So if you'd
you
like
hear
to, yeah, we can hear you. Not very well, but we can hear you. So maybe get close to the tablet.
Okay. Okay.
That's better.
Okay. I've had MS since '98. So, and I'm from Ohio. And I'm planning on going back to school in January.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. And I'm assuming that Kim part 2, is that you, Kim Stroh? Okay.
Yes. And if we could just ask everybody to mute if they're not talking, it would be better, because we're getting a lot of feedback. So if you find yourself muted, it's because the organizers are muting you because they're worried about they're getting feedback. So and when Jen or Kim call on you, then by all means unmute. And I think you have another new person there.
Yes, I see.
TechPaw. Yeah.
So is it private, maybe? PVT TechPoor? You're muted right now. Oh,
Yes,
Jake.
this is Tipo. This Lionel.
Yes, you're here.
Okay.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Yes. We're just kind of going around and just saying a little bit about our MS and how we're doing and sharing that. So, where are you located right now?
I'm in New Jersey, but I joined to support Carissa.
Okay.
You're in the wrong meeting, sir. This is you are in the wrong room. Let me give you the right room because I was just there and Carissa is there and I'm sure she'd be very happy to see you. So
Okay.
I am going to put the the link for that room. Just bear with me 1 second, and I will put the link for that room in
Okay.
the chat window for you. Do you know how to open the chat window?
Yes, please.
Okay, so just give me 1 second, and I will put I'll put the link. Oh, I know where it is. I know where it is. I know where I can find it quickly. So we have 2 rooms, and this happens to be the other room.
Okay.
So hold on. And this is a multiple sclerosis meeting. You wanted the RMC, the renal medullary carcinoma meeting. So I'm
Okay.
going to send this to you. Hold on, right now. You got it. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
And I may see you over there in about half an hour. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for
Bye.
joining us. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so that was just a little housekeeping that we're just doing. And now we want to continue with the introductions. And Tim, I'm going to shoot over to you. How are you doing tonight?
Not too bad. As you can see, I was actually recording a podcast episode before I popped on. So, yay! That's why I got out the good
Yay.
microphone.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of figured, yeah, you and Dan might be a little bit jealous of. No, you guys have a fantastic podcast. But hi everybody. I'm Tim. I'm down here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Diagnosed March 18th, 19th of this year. Diagnosed with CIS, clinically isolated syndrome, which is kind of like MS light. And got a doctor's appointment, regular doc's appointment coming up on Veterans Day, and then I'll see my new MS specialist in December 14th, and we're going to do some more MRIs because I'm on Abagio, the best named drug ever.
Jennifer
And
is totally agreeing.
oh, let me do it in my correct voice. Abagio.
Hey.
Feel like I'm wearing some like French perfume or something like that. Exactly.
That's why I totally picked it. Abagio. Yeah.
That's why I wanted it. I mean, they were going to give me trifecta or whatever it is, a Tecfidera, and I was like, nah, there's got to be something better named than that. Abagio, you know.
Abagio.
Exactly. So, and yeah, I've got some concerns on it. I'll talk about later on tonight, but yeah, things are. Try to keep an upbeat attitude. Try to be extremely positive, and my work knows, and they're very supportive of it. And luckily, I can telework till the cows come home because they're actually having me doing podcasting at work. So if ever a time there was to get MS, I guess now is the time for me, anyways, to get it and to be able to work from home and support my family and do what I got to do. So thank you all very much for being here tonight.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim. And hi, Michael. How are you doing tonight? You're muted.
I've got a story for everyone. I came down with trigeminal neuralgia about a month ago. And I had a Zoom with my doctor at Mayo. Trigeminal neuralgia is what it is. TM they call it. It mostly occurs among people with MS, but it's very, very rare. And they say it affects one side of your head, the left side or the right side. Most people the right side, and your face hurts. So I was overseas when I got this first taste of it. I couldn't sleep for days because I couldn't lay my head on a pillow, and my hair hurt, my teeth hurt, everything hurt. And got back in Mayo. My doctor at Mayo did a Zoom with me and gave me some pills to manage the pain. And I read different extracts. Some said this pain never goes away. Some say it comes and goes. And mine went away, and the side effects of the pain pills were very disturbing. So I stopped taking those, and I guess I'm waiting for it to come back. I'm in remission or whatever. And I think
Oops.
sorry to the new people who may not know what's coming. Probably nothing, hopefully. This is just a freak thing that occurred. And I live about 9 iron from Rick, but I see him more on every other Tuesday than I do around town.
True. We did try, and we will keep trying to meet up, but it's crazy. It's crazy around here at my end. And in fact, I just remembered I needed to write to your wife, and I'm just doing it right now. I've been meaning to do that for about 24 hours. So, but yes.
I'm sure she's waiting for it, Rick.
So I'm going to unmute Jen. We just muted you quickly, Jen, because your phone went, as you know.
That's one of the beautiful things, ladies and gentlemen, you all get me. The phone rings and I'm in a wheelchair and it's in a place where I can't get the damn thing. So it's ringing and it's telling you all that I'm getting like a piece of spam phone call and I'm like, stop ringing, and it won't. So I apologize for that. That's like when you do Zoom meetings or something, the most inopportune time that our thing rings. So sorry about that. Thanks, Michael. I'm sorry that you're dealing with the trigeminal neuralgia. I hope.
Jen, could you tell us a little bit, explain for everybody, because I bet there are people on here who've never heard about trigeminal neuralgia before. Can somebody explain it for the people in the group?
It's a nerve pain.
Whoever was out and speak, go ahead.
I had it. I know that it's a cranial nerve. For me, it was pain on the right side of my mouth, like if you have a filling. For me, Michael, it might be different for you, but have you ever chewed on tinfoil if you have fillings? That was the pain. And it would wake me up in the middle of the night. Anytime my teeth touched, that was the pain for me. And I was fortunate that I was able to have gamma knife surgery, and that destroyed the nerve. And it doesn't work for everyone, because I have a friend in my support group here in Michigan who the trigeminal neuralgia surgery didn't help her, and she's having to still take medication. But it's just ugly. It's just another one of the joys of multiple sclerosis. But, you know, Mike, if you're getting relief with the medication, I know but that's all I know.
Jennifer, if I can ask you, did they cut the nerve behind the back of your neck?
I don't want to like steal the whole, but they put like a halo. They put a halo on me, and then they took a laser, and they shot it, and it did something. That's how, like, I was in so much pain. I was like, whatever you have to do, do it. And with the laser, it was like radio surgery or something like that.
I heard there's that stage, and I'm glad for you and for everyone that they got it then, because the next stage is much worse.
Really?
There's other ways to get it. But from what my understanding, what happens with trigeminal neuralgia is we've all got a nerve at the root of our brain where it's three nerves. One that does your face, one that does this side of your head, and one that does the other side of your head. And the teeth and hearing and stuff like that. So I guess when we get older, gravity had something to do with it. The brain sits down further on the root and can cause some pressure on it. There's another, I know a lady who did not have MS. She has trigeminal neuralgia, and somehow the nerve loops around the bone or something. And anyway, I hope nobody gets it.
Yeah.
Very few people get it. And if you hear somebody talking about it, you say TN, and they all, oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's incredibly painful. It's bad. Yeah. And yeah, I don't want to neglect you, Karen. Thanks for joining us tonight. How are you doing? You're muted. There you are.
No, I'm not. But it's not that it's not that intuitive. I still always have a problem getting on here. And Rick makes the assumption that most people do. Well, just make a bookmark. Oh yeah, that'll help. Like as if you know where the bookmark is, what it means. You know, I put stuff in my calendar and I have the link, and then I get to that page that says, why don't you log on with the app? I don't want to log on with the app. I don't have the app. I'm on a PC. Well, why don't you do, it's just a lot of problem solving. That's not easy to do. Like I see Jennifer like going, yeah. And yeah, I'm seeing that more and more, the cognitive and the physical that's happening with me. And if I'm out with people, which is like rare, but I do occasionally go out, spent a couple of hours, some friends were visiting, we went to dinner. I said, there is nothing in my conversation that would indicate to you that I have cognitive impairment. And that happens a lot, you know, and people are like, oh, you seem fine, you seem fine. And it's getting harder and harder to walk. So, yeah, that stuff is challenging. And Rick said, oh, somebody want to talk about trigeminal? It's like, no, don't talk about it. You know, you kind of don't want to hear the horror and the shit show that this disease produces, because it's enough to make you go, okay, I don't want to be around. So 3 years ago in 2018, around this time, I was in the middle of trying to figure out what's wrong with me. I was walking a little funny, but I was walking. I didn't use a cane. And then a year later, I got a walker, but I didn't have to use the walker. I didn't want to use the walker. And then a year later, I have 5 walkers. And, you know, now I'm wondering, like, how long am I even going to be able to walk with the walker? And the people say, well, you're walking. It's like, with a walker, you know, that's not, you know, I go out and I look around and I go, no, most people are walking. You know, they're walking, they're swinging their arms and they're walking and they're putting one foot in front of the other. They're not, you know, doing that. So that stuff's bothering me. And then when those things start to bother me, sometimes I look online and then it makes it worse. Like today I was reading the MS Bart's blog and all this positive stuff that you should do to keep your neurons healthy and learn another language, or, you know, it's like, I've already leveled up 2 other languages besides English since COVID. So I'm doing that, you know, and I would play music, and it's just not working. I don't have the concentration. I don't have this, you know, my brain's not working. And so it just feels frustrating that, you know, I do what I can do. And I mean, right now I'm kind of, I think it took 10 minutes to get in here, and then there was all this like 20 minutes of technical stuff. But I still have a lot of joy, and I still have a lot of interest in doing things like food. I'm very good with food. What do I want to eat? And I make stuff. And I'm still like getting to the pool a priority. It's a little chilly today, so, but the end of the week should be warmer. And but you know, my life is not at all like what it was, and I don't have all the things that I had before to cope, like dancing, walking, volunteering, having, you know, all these things they're gone. And when I first got diagnosed, sometimes I'd look about, you know, the horrible things that can happen, and it's like, I don't want to know about that. I don't want to know about that. So I feel a little bad sharing that, because I know other people, if you're not there, you're like, I don't want to know about this. This is, you know, bad. So, you know, 3 years of a rapid decline. I have no reason not to think. I have primary progressive MS, but I've had this for 20 years. I've had stuff for 20 years. And in a way, I'm glad I wasn't diagnosed until then. So at least I kind of sort of had a normal-ish life. But now.
Yeah. Well, I just, you know, thank you for sharing. And I guess that's kind of, Karen, what you're talking about. There are a number of relatively newly diagnosed people with us tonight. I mean, Jennifer, Tiffany, Ann, what brought you here tonight? I mean, is there something that, you know, how are you doing? Well, Ann, you were diagnosed in like 2019, maybe?
2016.
2016, okay. And then Jennifer, you were just in
2019.
2019, okay. So.
But I've had it before. I couldn't write. I didn't know. I faked it till I made it. I had no idea. I was too busy to go to the doctor. You know, I was raising 3 kids and, you know, just getting over a horrible divorce, and just, they said it was stress. That's all it is, stress. And I couldn't, and I was sounding like I drank a little bit more than I should, and it wasn't like that. I couldn't. Mine is cognitive, Miss Karen. I get that. I totally get it. I've ran, you know, a whole addiction program, and I'm just lost. I've never been written up in my life, and last month I've gotten writ up twice, one more time, and this has happened right after I signed up for FMLA, and I don't abuse that. I really don't. When I'm feeling bad, I do rest as much as I can, but just a lot. I can't. There, multitasking. I was on it, dude. I was on it. You know, I worked 72 hours a week. I was walking. I was, you know, I was pushing 400 pounds, and I was feeling good. And I got optical neuritis. Why am I going blind? Didn't know. I was like sitting on the couch going like this. And I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Nothing. And I think I didn't freak out because my mom has high blood pressure. She went blind in one eye. So I was like, you know what? Okay, this woman could do it. I could do it. So I just still didn't know what was going on with me. but I would have, like, you know, and that was probably 3 years prior to, like, the writing and the, you know, trying to, and getting lost. I get lost in Richmond. Like, I'd end up one building. I'm like, why am I'd go into an AA meeting or an NA meeting. I went to a Catholic office, and they were like, honey, do you belong here? And I was like, yes, where's the meeting at?
Yeah.
And they're like, and I was like, where am I? It's horrible. And I feel like I did call a disability lawyer. I just can't. I just can't do it anymore.
But have you been diagnosed, Jennifer?
Yes, I was diagnosed April 4th, 2019, the month before my wedding to my husband.
And then it was COVID, so I bet that made it a bear to try and see doctors. And
well, they put me on, when I got the optical neuritis, I did go to get an MRI because I went to a specialist eye doctor, and he said, you know, this is looking like MS. And so they gave me an MRI, and I got to go to see a neurologist pretty quick. And I told him about prior a few years saying I can't talk, you know, I didn't talk right. I couldn't write my name, like I couldn't, and we were, you know, we have to document everything. So I don't know how I did it, but I was like, you know, like one thing at a time, you know. I was like, what is wrong with me? Get it together, Jennifer. And so the neurologist said, with the older lesions, kind of like, he gave me that thing fast. Like he said, I'm not going to put you through a spinal tap or any of that. So he pretty much knew what it was. And the last 5 months, I've had 2 MRIs with major increased action or lesions up there. See my words, it's horrible.
yeah.
So
Well, Jennifer, when you talked about cognitive problems, the number of heads that shook, that know what you're going through. I mean,
multitasking? No.
And it's hard to explain because, you know, I'm trying to explain so I can explain to people because they don't see it. And it's like, well, I have comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully, you know, I can comprehend.
See, I can't. That's my thing.
I can comprehend if I'm having a conversation, like there's nothing you said that didn't sound like you comprehend what's going on. It's not the same as dementia. You know, it's not the same as, it's not the same as what people think of as cognitive or what that is. And then I had the same experience as you, because I've had symptoms for 20 years. And
Yeah.
and it was always, and then like at some point I had a broken leg and I had like pain in my knee. And this orthopedic said, "Oh, it must be anxiety." It's like, what? There's a pain in my knee, And then I also did the same thing like you with the eye. I was like, oh, I don't really
But
see
then it
well.
started going this way, like the month before my wedding. So I was like, I was freaking my husband out on purpose. And I had to laugh about it, like I do. If I don't laugh at myself, then I'm just going to like get in my head, be like, this sucks. And it does suck, but I laugh. I have to laugh. Like when I shat myself in front of my son, I was like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Wrong son to shit in front of, let me tell you. He's like, Mom, that's disgusting.
Sense of humor is my most important coping mechanism.
So,
Yeah.
Tiffany, being newly diagnosed, does this, I mean, like, kudos to you for coming to a group and reaching out, but
My neurologist recommended that I seek a support group. I had a history of anxiety and depression before all of this, and he's like, you should get into a support group. He's like, you should talk to people that have it, that are living with it. So
yeah. So tonight, I mean, for all of us, like, what are you looking, how can we help? I mean, like, this is just like a really silly question, but you're like with your people and
yeah, it's the first time I've actually talked to somebody that I've been with anybody that's had it. So it's like overwhelming, I think.
I
I was only symptomatic for about a year before I was diagnosed. They misdiagnosed me with sciatic first, and I questioned that diagnosis literally the entire time because all I had was numbness, but it was like waist down on one side, it was only my foot on the other, and I kept questioning and questioning and questioning and advocating for myself. And they wanted to send me to a pain clinic, and I had no pain. I'm like, my doctor wouldn't even write me the referral for a neurologist. I had to fight for that when I couldn't feel my feet. So it's just like hearing that other people kind of struggled with that too, like makes me feel a little better with that. So
I had the same thing that, like in 2014, I had like little subtle things, but from 2014, it was pretty consistent. My right butt is flaccid, and I have foot drop. I look like I had a stroke, and I was a nurse. So my doctor said, well, you better come in, and I was never a frequent flyer. I mean, I didn't even go once a year to the doctor. And he said, well, you better come in. And he said, no, I don't think you had a stroke. And then he sent me to PT, and I actually happened to know that PT socially. She did stuff with me, and then I was at a party and I met her, so she's really good. And again, she gave me like 1 or 2 exercises. It's like, nobody good. Why is Karen's right butt flaccid? I'm not an athlete, but I walk and I go to the pool in the warm weather. It just doesn't even make sense. And I just didn't know. And then, it's like, oh, you have, and then, well, I'm getting like urinary incontinence. Well, I'm 70 now, so I know I look good.
you do.
So that's part of like my decline is my age, that I don't have the reserves, like I'm reading about it. It's like I've done what I can to keep myself running and then just to see the decline. But it's just nobody ever asked a question. I didn't have optic neuritis, but I do have like blurry vision. There were just so many things, and I'm in an integrated health plan. So people have access to the records, but everybody's in their silo, and nobody's like, well, let's put all of this together. What's wrong? What's wrong? It wasn't until I fell flat on my face and hit my head on a piece of cement that I was like, okay, I have fallen enough times. What is wrong with me? And, yeah, it's very challenging. It's very, very challenging dealing with the medical system. And what's even crazier than people saying you look good is I'm like the poster child in the with my providers that go, well, Karen, you know how to advocate for yourself. It's like, if I'm an example, it's really sad. That is really sad. Same thing, I had to get a new doctor as my doctor retired, and I had to advocate for the neurology referral. This doctor, she's now my doctor and she's great, but she didn't refer me right away. And then the second or third time I talked to her, she didn't refer me right away. And I said, I think you're on to something. Why are you not referring me? And I kept her, because when I complained after the first or second time I saw her, like, or on the phone, what can I do for you? It's like, why aren't you referring me? Well, if you want to find another doctor, look, I don't want a doctor shop right now. I want to find out what's wrong with me. You're the first one who's like even had like a hint of what direction to go in. And I did get stuck, and you're lucky you didn't get the spinal, see, like, what's that word? I don't want to say spinal tap, but what is it called? Lumbar puncture.
Lumbar puncture.
Yeah. I had the lumbar puncture, and it was positive, and the neurologist didn't notice. I mean, didn't notice. And then I went and then until I went to the specialist, and I went back just to ask him, like, how did you miss this? Well, then he was abusive towards me.
But thank God he figured it out, that you have it. You have like
especially, I got referred to a specialist, but there were so many other detours along the way. Like, this is the anniversary of, they took out half my thyroid. The MRI said, oh, you have this thing with your thyroid, a couple of biopsies, and then they said, well, we think you have thyroid cancer. And I'm trying to get to the MS specialist, and now they want to take out my thyroid. And then, oh no, actually you don't have cancer. In the meantime, the MS specialist was on maternity leave, and the other one was filling in for her, and she'd been on maternity leave, so they were all backlogged. I mean, it's just like, what a calamity, like, what a calamity. And this, I'm really learning, because I'm learning now to swat the flies. The doctors the ones who don't do right by you are always the ones who are defensive, who just blame you for anything. Crap happens. I was supposed to get a follow-up appointment last week, or 2 weeks ago, and it's like it didn't happen, and it took 7 or 8 phone calls. And then, I don't know, maybe my doctor, they were blaming my doctor that she didn't tell them. And it's like, I don't care. My doctor has good credit with me. I don't care if that's what happened. But just going forward, I need to know when I make phone calls, who gets the message. But, I'm learning, like, the people who do right by you, they could make mistakes, but they just go, I'm sorry that happened. Instead of, oh, it's you. So.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. Yep, we can.
Oh, you can't? Okay. I just want to make sure you can hear me on my phone versus I have to watch you through my computer, but I have to listen to everything on my phone because my internet is terrible at the hotel, guys. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to back up for a second here. Jennifer, you mentioned Jennifer Smith, not Jen, my partner in crime, Jen.
Yeah.
You mentioned about going on disability. Have you talked to a lawyer, or have you talked to your doctor about having your hours reduced or anything like that?
No, I haven't. I don't know how I would be treated. Like, I don't know. I just already feel like I'm being pushed out.
Right. That's very common when you have MS and you can't do the things you need to do. So, so are you at a point where you are wanting to try to get on Social Security disability, or what's going through your head right now? I just kind of wanted to explore that space a little bit, if you were cool with that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's what I enjoy. I like working with addicts and people with mental illness. I know that's what I do, and that's what I know. So that's why I left my other job to do the manager job, because I won't be driving, because I don't trust my distance a lot. And so I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Okay, but is that but the current work you're doing, because you were mentioning cognitive issues, were you still having, I mean, you haven't met me before, like, I have cognitive issues and fatigue are my biggest problems, and my cognitive issues, to give everyone just kind of a basic idea, this summer I couldn't read adult books. I had to read books for 8 to 12-year-olds. I read Laura Ingalls Wilder books because that's what I could understand. Yeah, they're great books, but you know, I just had to just like chill out, going, okay, I can't do this, and I will go down and read 8 to 10 to 12-year-old books, which was fine. But it was something that could have got really dark really fast for me, because that can be really hard. So
mine is comprehension. Like when my boss tells me to do something, I'm just like, she sees the look, she knows the look, and I'm just like, I'm kind of like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, I don't.
Is she willing to work with you, or do you feel that that's not possible?
No, I really think.
What's the vibe you're getting?
Trying to push me out.
Okay. Do you think you could get a doctor's note getting you to reduce your hours so you have more time to recover between, instead of doing an 8-hour working day, doing a 6-hour working day?
Since I'm on FMLA, that would probably help that I'm already on it. He would just, but for some reason they got me off. If I'm having a bad day, I'm allowed 1 day off, but I have to be worked the next day. I don't understand that, but.
I don't know the technicalities of FMLA, but I know that MS, sometimes 1 day is not enough to recover.
I have really bad MS hugs, and I went, when I first got it, I was like, what the, I had a bra on, and I was on my way to a client. Luckily, I love her, and she understands me and my craziness anyways, so I had to take my bra off. And I was like, because it hurt so bad, I was like, what the heck is this? And I like, it's an MS hug. Okay, well, that sucks. I don't like that hug.
I know. And Jennifer, I know that we just met, but I feel like a kindred spirit to you because I'm another Jennifer. And I noticed you have when I was diagnosed with MS, my doctor told me that I needed to lose weight and I needed to quit smoking. And I know you've talked about what you do for a living, so I'm not going to mess with that. But that's just from one person to another. Like when I would smoke, it would make my numbness so much worse. And I don't know if any of you else out there do that. And I didn't want to call you out or anything on that, but I feel like, oh my God, we're at a support group meeting. And I don't know if the smoking makes your numbness any worse, but that's just one thing. Cause I care.
I quit for 5 years.
Uh-huh.
And I started it up.
Yeah. Son of a stinker. They're so bad. I hear you. Coffee.
And cigarettes. This is what I got. Okay.
Yeah, that's what you got. And then your bladder, the disease is going to screw with your bladder, and then coffees, you're going to have to give that up. And it's like,
I don't shit on myself all the time. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just warning you. And Tiffany, I'm sorry that I'm talking about all the fun things that some of us people with multiple sclerosis have to give up. But caffeine, please, is a bitch on my bladder. And as much as I want to drink, I'm like, do I want to pee my pants or do I want to be able to hold it? So,
yeah.
You know, that's a great segue to say that we're having a webinar November 29th, which is Monday before Thanksgiving. So you're thinking, you know, Black Monday, whatever, the Cyber Monday shopping. Think MS Urology Monday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. You guys are going to figure out the rest of the time zones. And so we're doing a special webinar. So if you guys want to check it out that Monday night, we're talking neurology. So we're going to be all up in neurology. We're going to have some fantastic people, professionals coming to talk. And sorry, I busted in on there, but I wanted to get it out there so you guys know, because I think that's before.
Yeah.
Do we meet each other before then? Yeah, we'll see each other on the 23rd. Okay.
Yeah. No, that was nice. And again, Jennifer, I wasn't trying to call you out just because of care. Long distance hug. I want you just, yeah.
And can
So,
I just say something? Sorry.
yeah, please do, Holly.
So, my sister also has MS, and when she was diagnosed, she was a smoker, and we went to the neurologist, and the neurologist told her that she had 8 times more chance to end up in a wheelchair if she was smoking, and so she came home that day and threw the cigarettes away and never smoked again. And the other thing that I wanted to say is about how Kim was talking to you about working, and you were saying that you love your work, but don't feel like that if you did have to go out on disability that you would have to give that up, because I'm on disability and I still volunteer with my charity. So you, by all means, can still be involved in that. Don't think that you have to give that up.
I don't think I
The
would.
thing the thing I've learned with MS is sometimes it doesn't take you much to push you over. And the example I used is in 2018, my mom had knee surgery. So I did very little to help her. I did the laundry, I did the grocery shopping, but it was enough to push me over that I had a flare and I went blind in my left eye temporarily.
Gotcha,
And
Kim.
so, yeah, so we're going to maybe doing that again here in the near future with her other knee. And I'm totally prepared now how to self-care, and then more self-care, fill me up so then I can help out versus drain myself. I think people with MS in general, our personalities, we tend to like to go, and I don't want to slow down, and then we get our butts kicked badly. We're like, why am I keep having problems? It's like, good, you just got to slow down and like smell the roses or something. And that's so hard because a lot of us, I come back from, we're just used to working really, really hard. And it's really hard to slow down and go, you know what? Maybe I only can do this much today, and that's okay. That was a really hard thing for me to do. It took me years to get to that point. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, I
Right.
just started giving
Can
up
I ask
work.
a question of Tiffany? Because Tiffany, you're new. I'm just curious what your symptoms are and how you feel about everything so far.
I'm good days and bad days. I woke up this morning having a bad day, so I called work and told them I wasn't coming in today, which I'm sure they're thrilled with, but they'll have to deal. I'm pretty lucky. My symptoms today, I notice I have word finding issues, especially if I'm like more tired, and that's gotten worse. When I was diagnosed, it actually explained like a lot. I have the fatigue that's pretty bad. And when it started, it was, probably 6-8 months before COVID, and then COVID hit, and I'm a nurse in a nursing home, so that was not fun. But right now, I have numbness in like my calf down on my right foot, and then my left foot is just the toes in the outer part of my left foot. So I consider myself lucky right now. I just started Copaxone a few weeks ago. They started me on that because I'm planning on having children. They said it's safe if I get pregnant while I'm on it. So that's why they have me on that one. My neurologist has already told me that once I'm done having kids altogether, that they'll switch me to something else. Because injections 3 days a week is not fun right now. I'm a nurse. It's way different giving yourself your own injections.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I found that too. The first few, I was just so scared of it. And then after a while, it got pretty normal, but it takes a while for it to normalize.
The auto injector helps. Not seeing the needle actually go in helps a lot because I started before I got my auto injector. For the areas I couldn't reach, I work at a nursing home, so I had my pick of what nurse could do it for me for the first few times until I got the auto injector in.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, no, I've been pretty lucky so far.
You're lucky you're on the Copaxone. That's 3 times a week versus the daily Copaxone.
Yeah, I read about that one. I was like, oh, I'm happy I'm on 3 days a week and not daily.
So, Anne, what medicine are you taking? Or are you on a DMT?
Yeah, I'm on Rituxan now. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. There are a couple of us on Rituxan.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was first diagnosed, in addition to being tired all the time, I kept thinking, my balance was a little off and I didn't realize it. And I kept thinking I could walk at the same pace and, turn around the same way. And I fell like every other month and broke something because I hadn't figured out what I could and couldn't do yet. I forgot. My mind would forget, and I'd go to make a quick turn, and boom, I was on the ground. So I guess everyone has different symptoms. My biggest one was fatigue, though. It took me about 18 months after not working to just feel normal and feel rested. It's like such a deficit when you're working and you're trying so hard to keep things up and keep your energy up.
Yeah. And Tim, welcome back.
Yeah, talking about urology. There we go.
There we go. You said that you had some things you wanted to talk about tonight.
Well, and this is mainly about the interaction with Abagio, which I know we're not pharmacists here, and I'm not expecting that I'm going to be talking with my doc anyways. But so they've got me on. My regular doc has me on Zoloft, 75 milligrams a day, and I'm doing the Abagio 7 milligrams a day. And I'm seeing a therapist anyways on top of all of this. So, I think we all have like 50 doctors that we're all seeing and all that good stuff. But I'm just, I don't know. I've been getting, and it could be to do with diabetes as well. I'm pre-diabetic. But I've been getting really, probably in the past month or so, and I've only been on Abagio working on my third month here. It, getting really irritable and having just really weird thoughts pop into my head, and I'm not too sure if it's we got to adjust the Zoloft or stuff like that, but when I'm hearing people talking about cognitive stuff, that affects me too. And it was interesting because my mom had aphasia. She had a stroke a long time ago, and she had aphasia, and I had to teach her how to talk again. And I just remember when she had aphasia, where she couldn't, connect. She had the thoughts, but she couldn't connect the words. And I'm noticing that's kind of kicking up a notch as well. My wife doesn't see it, and she's around me all the time. My work doesn't see it, pretty much because stay. I'm the first one on, in my work group, and I usually leave at 4 o'clock. I'm usually the first one out. But what they pretty much say is, hey, Tim is, doing fine. He's blah 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 blah, and I'm finding that I feel that I'm compensating more now, and all that kind of good stuff. So I was just wondering if anyone had any experience with Abagio. I read, because I'm one of those types of patients. I read up about it a lot, and I know a lot of the side effects with it, and I just a little bit concerned about the whole interaction with Abagio and with Zoloft, and how that stuff interplays, with taking a like an anti-anxiety, anti-depressant like that with medication.
Does anybody have any experience with that? Yeah, Holly.
So I was just gonna say I haven't taken Abagio, but I know when I was first diagnosed, I had an issue where a few months after I got like the definite diagnosis, I would like go to sleep at night and like I was working for the state police in Massachusetts, and I would be thinking like, what if I can't get out of my chair tomorrow, and what if somebody I know sees me and finds out I have MS, or what if I can't get up the stairs, or what if I fall? And like all night long, that would be like going through my mind, like constantly running through my mind. And they basically told me that it was like you had to go through the grieving process, almost kind of like when you got the diagnosis. So I don't know if that helps at all in terms of like having your brain like run like that, but that definitely happened to me.
Yeah, and the day I got the diagnosis, I came home to my wife and I was like, yeah, they diagnosed me with MS. She's like, okay, well, now you know what the deal is and what's going on, and you're going to get treatment for it, blah blah blah. And like the next day, I was just a bear. I was just
Mhm.
like, I was like, she's like, well, I'm going through it with you, and I'm like, yeah, but you're not going through it. I am, and all that stuff. And that's when I found these wonderful people, which has been fantastic for me. Um, but yeah, I think part of it, yeah, I think you're right, Holly. I think it is partial, still going through the grieving process, and that's why the therapist that I got's a really good guy, and I see him once a month. Um, but I don't know, I guess, how much of it is me going through the grief process, because I can tell you right now, I haven't gone all the way through it yet. I'm still in that process of kind of going through that. So I don't know. Okay, it's 80% grieving process, 20%, something's actually, yeah, the chemical interactions are doing funky things, or, I'm a numbers guy. I like numbers, and I just kind of,
And I'm a
it's
diabetic too, and that certainly can play a factor into the whole thing as well.
yeah, my blood sugars were, for the past like 3 weeks. Last week they leveled off. Um, but yeah, I noticed kind of when I was having some hard times the past month or so, my blood sugar levels were elevated. So
Mm.
and that could be it too. It could just be a simple thing of, hey, Tim, your blood sugars come on now.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm actually on the insulin pump, and when they're out of control, I get
yeah,
very like short and no patience, and
yeah.
so that can be it as well.
Are
Oh,
you,
and I got 7-year-old twins that,
There
they're
you go.
wonderful,
Yeah.
they're beautiful, they're perfect, and some days I'm just like, bah!
Yeah,
are
And
you
yeah.
on
And I
computer?
think it's hard too when like somebody can't see anything wrong with you. Like if you had a broken arm, people can go, "Oh, they're going through pain. They have a broken arm." But even to this day, like I've been with me and my husband have been married 16 years, and he'll even say to me sometimes, like, "Oh yeah, sometimes I just forget like that you might not be feeling good, or that I forget that you have MS." So like
mm,
I think that it impacts it as well too. Is like, God damn it, why don't you feel bad for me today?
Are you
It's
taking anything for the diabetes?
I'm doing metformin for diabetes.
Okay, so now you got
Yeah.
3 drugs that could mess your
Oh
head up,
God. Well,
or
I've
more.
got I've got gout too. Yay!
So
Um,
all of that,
um, yeah.
all of that. And then, you could say, well, let me talk to the pharmacist. I
Mm,
guarantee you the pharmacist doesn't know crap about MS. So
mm,
they wouldn't know, they wouldn't know, is that affecting you? But all of that, I was having high blood pressure, and I was on that, I think, during this process of the really heavy grieving process and the first being diagnosed. And that, yeah, I would like pass out. I had all these side effects from that. And I think, Holly, you're right. Um, the MS specialist I have has this amazing nurse that I don't know why she didn't tell me when I got diagnosed, but I happened to find her. And so she's great. She always has time and she can explain things. And she said, it's always worse in the beginning. It's just worse. It'll get better. And then someone I knew who was told me about an MS support group. She said, the joke in MS, because nobody says that here. She said, it's all in your head.
It can be in your spine.
No, that's true. In my case, it's in my spine, but now I know it's in my head too because I'm having the cognitive. But that stuff just, it kept me up at night. Same thing. I would like ruminate at night. And now, I mean, I shared with you all that I am really concerned. I'm declining. That does not keep me up at night. The things that keep me up at night is like 8 phone calls for a routine, a follow-up appointment. What? I got referred for home care and I can't find out what happened. Those are the things that keep me up at night. But I'm not kept up at night about, this dismal decline of the body. And it was probably, at least a year and a half of grief. And my primary, she said, Karen, you're in grief, because there's always like, oh, well, gee, she's angry. I had to tell my doctor, I saw her on Friday. I said, you get the worst of me, because the worst of me is dealing with a medical system that doesn't work. And I had issues with work, and Jennifer Smith, I could totally get, you don't want to give up work. You're like, I don't want to do that. That's what I do. But I started pulling back from work, and I thought it was in my head. And I've always had jobs that I can be very independent, but I had a paycheck. I worked under a lot of grants, and not having to go to work anymore, and with that looming over you, somebody's watching over you, somebody's critiquing you, somebody doesn't like that, you actually do your job well. It's never the work. It's not the work. It's that somebody else who's coming along and saying, well, and then I don't like your attitude, or, well, have you thought about this? And while you're still struggling with what's wrong, is it just, if I can do this. But, Holly, I think you're really hitting the nail on the head for Tim, like, yes, and it's a constant state of grief, but that early, and the early is not like 3 months, when somebody loses a spouse or a child, that first year they're in grief. Everybody knows you're in grief. The second year, it's even harder. I don't think so much with that, you're in grief, but you're also in denial. Well, I can go to work. I can do all this. I can do it, even though the signs are like, well, it's not that easy. And
Yeah.
all that,
Well,
but it's
Tim, didn't you say that you have to see, do you have to have an MRI, or you have to see your doctor on Veterans Day?
I'm going to be seeing my regular doc on Veterans Day. I'll do the MRI this Saturday right after Thanksgiving. We'll do the whole from top to bottom, and then I'll see my new specialist on December 14th.
And I know that we talk a lot about MS specialists, but I don't want to devalue your primary doctor about the medicine you're taking and just your concerns with the Aubagio and your metformin and, what is. And like Holly said, if your sugar's a little off, that could. I'm noticing that I have a short fuse lately, and I don't know if you develop the short fuse because you feel like poop and you're just like, rawr, I think, like, I'm seeing you all nod your heads like you get it. You just, the short fuse, and I know you love your twins and you love your wife, but just every once in a while, yeah. So,
If you have twins, you got this, man.
Maybe? No.
I'm
Yeah.
a twin. I get it.
Oh, okay. Well, then you feel my pain.
I do. So my mom feels your pain.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
She had us twins, and then my sister 18 months later.
Oh my God. She's a saint.
So I like your
She's
shirt. I'm gonna give that to my dad.
Yeah, yeah. There's a whole when we found out we were having twins, I found this support group for men, that were twin dads, and they've got a ton of these shirts. It's fantastic. It is fantastic.
yeah.
Dawn's a prettier twin, so.
Of course, obviously.
He's a boy, so no, we're not identical.
No.
well, Dan and Jen.
Yes.
You did say, winter's encroaching, and the weather, and all those all those things.
Plus everything going on in the world too. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Well, and then my urologist, circling back to urology talk, my urologist, I was supposed to get my Botox in my bladder tomorrow, but my urologist called and said, nope, we can't do it. So I'm getting the Botox in my bladder the day before Thanksgiving. Woo woo. So you'll have to wait for like 2 more meetings before I can tell you about that. But the nurse did tell me that it should go well and that it's like a 15-minute procedure. So I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but I have had like a laundry list of urological problems and the piddle, the puddle stopper handbook. So the doctor is going to try and use Botox in my bladder to see if she can calm down my neurogenic bladder. So, like I said, come back for 2 meetings and I'll tell you all about it if it goes well. I don't know if any of you have done it. Have you tried
Good
that,
luck.
Ian?
Hope it goes well.
Thank you.
But canceling the appointment, I mean, that's what I said. It's those kind of things that keep me up at night. You're capable of going to an appointment and then you had an incident another time, you drove 2.5 hours and they're like, no, we can't do that. It's just the dysfunction of the medical system's enough to drive you crazy. But speaking of the urology thing, because I just blamed it on age. Everything was you're old or you have anxiety. And it's like, well, I don't have to go to work anymore. That just cut back on that. But I was getting treatment in the urology department with tibial nerve stimulation, and it's magic. It really cuts down. I was bragging about it all the time to people, but my sensitivity, they would put in a little an acupuncture needle, and I can't stand it anymore. I couldn't stand doing that anymore. I think just that whole sensitivity of your body. So I got a percutaneous machine that I got to my home, and I went to my urology department and got a treatment with that. And so now I have my own kit and I can do it at home, and it's no needles. And I really love the nurse. I love going there and talking with her. And I said, I'm going to call you because I'm not going to remember stuff, here, because I only have to do it like every 3 weeks. But that's just good to know that if that situation should await you, that there is, kind of a home treatment that you can do now.
And thank you for that. Karen and I exchanged emails, and just because I know some like Tiffany and Jennifer and Anne, if you all want to like give your emails, like sign them up today, you can stay in contact. But if you ever want to contact me or anyone in the group, we're all like, we shoot emails back and forth, and Karen was a peach and she gave me like so much information, and it really helped to have somebody to talk to, not
And
even in the group, just to
And I
shoot
asked my
back and
urology
forth.
nurse, I said, I have this friend.
Yes.
It's not
And
about me.
so it's good. Karen, you're in California. I'm in Michigan, and I can say I have this friend in California that gave me all kinds of information. Thanks, Tiffany. If I could type, I would type it, but right now my hands are working in the other room. That's my husband, Dan, who also is living with multiple sclerosis, but he's like under super big deadlines at work, so he's not here tonight. But I encourage you to come back when he's here because he's super cute. Yeah. So Jennifer, Tiffany, was there anything that like didn't get talked about at this meeting? Thanks, Anne. Your address. Anything that you wanted to talk about tonight? Okay. Thanks, Holly. Yay.
Yeah. So we'll make sure these emails are, some of you are already in the base too, but we'll make sure you're in our database. I know Tiffany and Holly definitely are, and I think Ann is too. We'll make sure you get reminders. So Kim, go ahead. I know you have a question. Go ahead.
Well, Jen Smith, does your twin have MS too, or just you?
No, he does not. Though he has diagnosed me with all kinds of things and what I need to take and what I need to do. I told him to go watch. He makes watches. He's a watchmaker.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's fabulous. I'd be like this.
Oh my gosh, it is impressive to be a watchmaker, I have to say. Yeah, I mean, let's just say the work that you do has much more soul, but being a watchmaker is impressive. What can
I'm
I
1 minute
say?
older than he is as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And he's a redhead too.
Oh,
I
wow.
see.
We come from a ginger family, okay? We are the Weasleys of Richmond, Indiana. We're like the ginger Vikings.
Oh my gosh.
I've got a
Forgive me for leaving for a while. We have two meetings running at the same time tonight, but I did want to check. It sounded like you did, but Jen and Kim, did you mention the webinar that we have coming up on the 29th?
Kim got it in there seamlessly. She
Great.
added it.
Good girl.
So, and there will be a urologist from Johns Hopkins.
Yes.
I always mess that up, but she's a female urologist and she will be speaking. And then a gentleman from MS for MS, which is another MS organization, he will also be there to introduce Dr. Rubin. So it should be a good program. And if you have questions about urological functioning or anything, if you want to just send them over to Rick, or just so we can have some, just kind of so Dr. Rubin can deal with some of our issues or things that we want to talk about. And Kim's going to moderate that night.
What time is it?
8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Standard, 6 o'clock Mountain, 5 o'clock Pacific. Am I getting this right, guys?
You're doing great.
4 Alaskan, 3 Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. Too much information. We had the daylight savings time, and I go to the pool at, it closes at 2:30, and I'm at the pool and I go, okay, so I know it's daylight savings time, but is 2 o'clock going to be like 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock? It's like the cognitive, I could not, I can't put all that information in. Or, on the phone, someone will say, can I have the last 4 of your social and your date of birth? And it's like, what?
Yeah. And then, nobody talks about daylight savings and the fatigue because we're in Eastern. So it's 10 o'clock right now, but my body says it's 11 o'clock. I should go to bed. And nobody, you just daylight savings. Tim's nodding his head. You get me, Eastern Standard, where it's just, I'm sure everybody else gets it. It kicks your butt. It's 1 hour, but you're like, unless you live in Indiana. Jennifer, do you participate in daylight savings?
Yes, and I'll tell you what, this is my mindset because I'm a workaholic. I'm like, ooh, another hour.
Yeah, that's just
I get
crazy.
you.
I'm using my spoons from next year.
Yeah, you're using the spoons that are like antique that your mom passed down from your grandma.
I'm going to snatch some from you guys. Okay.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, we don't change the clocks either in Arizona, all of Arizona. It's not just part of Arizona, which
Really?
I don't know how they manage in Indiana, where it's only part of Indiana. But the problem with not changing the clocks is that the meeting times change. So meeting now starts, this meeting for us now starts at 6 o'clock or 6:30 instead of 5:30. So it can get very confusing. So, but I like the fact that we don't have to move our clocks and the days are always, it just gradually changes. So there you go.
And I don't know about any of you who have pets, but pets don't wear watches. They have no idea. My cat is screaming at 5:30 like, Jennifer, it's feed me. And I'm like, no, buddy, it's only 5:30. It's like, no, but it's 6:30. And so, yeah.
Oh, I never thought about that. Kim, how about your dog? Does your dog get bent out of shape when the clocks fall back and they would spring forward?
Just for dinner time. She's like a teenager, so she'll sleep in all morning. So I don't have a problem on that end. It's the evening when she wants to get fed. But I haven't been around much because I've been in Minnesota. So my husband gets to take care of that.
Wow. So I did want to check in, and I don't know whether you said anything, but is everything okay with your mom?
She definitely needs knee surgery. She has severe osteoarthritis on her one knee, so it's bone on one side. It's really like untrained eye. You see the X-ray, you can tell, but we have to make sure that she's healthy on the other systems before it to go. So we have cardiology on Thursday. I don't think it's going to go well in cardiology. So.
And Karen, I got what you said about asking the doctor for the urologist. So I got your note.
And that's for that talk. It's
Yep.
like
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the talk. Can they address that?
Right. So one of what we will be sending out, separate notification about this, and we'll make sure, of course, it goes to all of the MS mailing list, and there'll be a flyer, and it'll include instructions on how to send in questions, etc., etc. But I leave all that up to my Wonder Woman, Ancan's very own Wonder Woman, Alexa. Oh, and I have some great news for you for this group, which you will love. We got awarded a grant today for the art program, which is going to be it's going to be open to anybody, not just MS, but Hannah's going to run it. And it will include, this was one of the things we got the money for, we will be sending out art supplies to everybody.
Wow.
Yay.
Congratulations.
So for the 3 people who are new, this is a program we started with one of our MS moderators. She's not with us today, Hannah Garrison, who is an artist and a teacher. And we had the idea, she had the idea, and Alexa had the idea that we could do a virtual art class, and it would be available to everybody, no matter what their situation with mobility or disability or anything else. And we tried it out with the MS group and they loved it. So then we did a second one and we opened it up to more people. And then we had the idea, we knew that there was a certain grant available, that we should write a grant, and they agreed to cover 50% of the cost. And we said, okay, well, we'll cover the other 50% of the cost out of our kitty. And we're going to run one session a quarter. and we'll very soon be announcing when it starts. But it's basically Hannah and Alexa together that are doing this. So expect
Awesome.
art classes.
I can testify. I have art phobia. I don't do art. I don't do it. I do performing arts. I sing, but no, I don't do like that type of art. And I was doing it on my tablet. It's the only time I've ever done any art on my tablet is with Hannah. So, and we really just made amazing things. And I have a friend who's kind of an artist. I showed her what we did. And she's like, she's a good teacher. She's a really good. And then when we get off the recording, I could tell you, I did another workshop with her at another place. Hannah's amazing, but this other place was, Rick is amazing too. I'm going to just testify about that because so many of these MS kind of, they're run by pharmaceutical companies and big pharma, and we want your money and we want more of your money, and then we also want more money, and it's not focused. And Rick really makes sure this is focused on us.
So should I not tell you that the money comes in directly from big pharma for the art?
That was my first no, it does come, but that was my first question to you, and you said yes, we get a little bit, but it's not, you know, it's not what's driving it.
No, it's not what's driving it, and this is a wonderful program. It's through Healthy Voices, which some of you may have heard of before, and some of you will participate in. And it's one of the reasons that we got this MS group together, because we met people at Healthy Voices that were MS people. I have put in the chat window the link to the gallery. Oh no, I didn't. I put in the link to Solo Arts Heal. You don't want Solo Arts Heal. Well, maybe you do want Solo Arts Heal, but I put the wrong link in. So I'm going to put the right link in, and you'll be able to see some of the work there. It's in now, and you'll be able to see some of the work that people did. And we hope you'll all come and join in the new classes, and you'll all get your art, your freebie art supplies. Even you, Mr. Pettypool. We expect you to be there too.
And
So,
speaking of next, our next meeting for Ann Can is October 23rd. So
November 23rd. I know we
Dang it.
just got in November, but we're already.
November 23rd. Sorry about that, Kim. But it will be November 23rd at 8:30 Eastern, and y'all figure out math. Eastern, and then you count the right way. So,
Are you Eastern?
Yes.
Oh, really? Michigan is
Eastern. And so, yeah, Tim is with me. Ann and Tiffany, are you Eastern as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Holly. Jennifer, what about
Am
you?
I the only one in Central today?
Yeah. Because
I'm only the one in Central. Wow. Usually we're like representing the Central time zone. We're really slacking tonight.
Yeah. Way to represent Eastern Standard Time. Look at us.
Well, usually Frank's here, and Frank couldn't make it, so.
Well, Jennifer, did you say that you're Central?
Yeah. Yes, Indiana.
Yeah, so you're Central.
Okay.
So Kim.
With me.
Born a Buckeye, though.
Born a Buckeye, and I was born a Wolverine.
That's okay. I'm not a Hawkeye. I'm not a Hawkeye. I don't care.
Somebody said they were from Ohio, so I was like, that's why I said I was Buckeye too.
No, I don't think I formally introduced myself at the beginning because I was having audio issues. I'm actually in Iowa. I am the Iowegian. But tonight, I'm Minnesotan because I'm in Rochester, Minnesota, because I'm doing appointments with my mom at the Mayo Clinic. So that's why my internet's terrible at the hotel.
Okay, Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't make me bust out my Minnesotans to you.
Stop the recording.
Yeah, I can stop it.
Kim, will you stop